Guys, I'm in this sacred place called Bruna Boy. It's a big territory around or along the river Boyne in Ireland, about 30 kilometers north of Dublin. And it's a really sacred place where the biggest number of megaliths, or basically monuments from Neolithic time, is concentrated in Europe. Well, River Boyne actually creates sort of semi-island around here, and on this island there are three largest monuments. One is Newgrange, known by its amazing alignment to the winter solstice, and this one is called Nose, which is the largest one of all of them, which include quite a few, about 20 this passage tombs. This is the largest one you can look at, and these are the smaller ones. There were 20 of them. That's the remains of another one surrounding it, and they were built 3,200 years BC before Christ. Oh my God, it makes them older than Stonehenge, makes them all the 500 years older than Egyptian pyramids. And this is absolutely amazing sight, stunning. People who lived here came probably from Anatolia, as they're not really the ancestors of present Irish people. So they look darker, though they had blue eyes. And it's all discovered because all these tombs still contains cremated remains of these people from Neolithic time. Of course, it was built not by one generation of people, because their life expectancy was no more than 35, 36 years really at that time. So when they started, they never saw the end of their jobs. It's an amazing place. Basically, this is not a hill digged in. No, it's actually a building built from the scratch, with many stones inside, laced by stone, protected by smaller stones, and it's stands here for 5,000 years, and the water never got in. So they knew how to isolate their buildings from water, which is amazing. They all have these passages. That's why they're called passage tombs. This one actually has two. Newgrange have only one, but this one has two, from one side and from the other. It's actually covered, protected by this stone. Well, there's two reasons for it. First of all, they believe this is kind of stepping from life to another life, passing this stone. And second, it actually prevented sheep and cattle to get in. Well, this one is not allied with solstice, but look at this standing stone. It's called actually shadow alignment. During equinox, spring and autumn, in March and September, when the sun rises at this time in equinox, this stone will cast a shade projecting on this passage into these tomb chambers. Inside there are not skeletons. They used to actually cremate their ancestors, so there's a lot of cremated sort of ashes left, and some bones, and these bones allowed present scientists actually to find the DNA, and that's how they discovered that these people are not actually the ancestors of present Irish people. They were much darker and came from what is now Turkey, from Anatolia. Well, this is amazing mound. You can see the stones, for example, quartz stones, were brought from about 60 kilometers from here. The big stones which surround it, about 123, it used to be 127. They all have art carved in them. I will show you a bit better. They were brought from about 20 kilometers from here. And some of granite stones like this one brought about 70 kilometers from here. And these people didn't have any horses, they didn't have any will. We think, scientists think that they actually rafted them by the river, or so that's how they probably came here. In Newgrange, this quartz was put back because different archaeologists worked. They started actually excavating in 1960s. Different people worked, and in Newgrange, archaeologists decided that actually quartz was covering the top of the front of the monument. Well, because quartz actually reflect light, and it was seen from afar. But archaeologists who work on north here, they decided to leave it as they found it. So it's a very interesting story, actually, and different theories. Look at this amazing Neolithic art. All these stones, each one of them are covered with certain beautifully carved figures. Some are circles, some are spirals, some are like stars. Let me just show you someone which you can see better because of the light. You don't see them everywhere. Look at this down there. And we don't know what they mean with it. Some people think it's language. The other things is actually some lunar calendar, because there's some half moons and then they go into circles, and 29 of them makes the sort of lunar movement. Look at that down there as well. You can see there was no colors, no any remains of the colors found. I'll show you one of them, actually quite now very well lit, is this one, very well known. Actually, they're not unique in a way, because all western coast of Europe, like Iberia, for example, and Brittany, you know, west of France, they have these megaliths as well. There are all the different structures like this and tomb passages. And actually not the oldest. In France, they have one which is nearly 7 years old. You know, this one is actually shows different U kind of figures. So it's a whole language. I mean, it's very interesting. It may be actually signs of people who were buried there. It's also possible. That's kind of their signs, or their what we call now coat of arms. Yeah, obviously people who were buried there, they were top people, not simple people, because it's quite expensive to create all that. Not everything here what you see is original. For example, this concrete kind of plate just put by archaeologists, you know, to support the structure. There we are. You can see some others over there. When it was discovered in 1960s, it was all like one big hill. You couldn't see all these mounds at all. You see a lot of them collapsed, just like this one. Can you see over there? And also some early archaeologists tried to maybe to discover some jewels, thinking it was burial chambers, and they ruined it. That's what happened. Oh, beautiful place actually. It's absolutely stunning and amazing. And then of course it's I can see some now actually carving. It's not drawing, it's actually carving. They use flint, they use quartz and hard stones to carve it. You see now the sun is on that way, so you can see it's actually beautifully lit. And interesting that there was actually some settlement here before this Naus monuments was built, these tombs. So before Neolithic time, maybe, you know. And then also something happened, and it's kind of stopped till Bronze Age, which was about 2000 BC. We think that these people probably died by what they discovered, the remains of people, that they may have plague. So it's kind of stopped. But then during Iron Age, about 700 BC, people came back here and started using it again like burials. There we are. And then interesting, in early Christian time, it was all this area was called Kingdom of Nosbreda, and on top of this, and actually it was kind of grew up inside, sort of covered by other amount of land, and sort of you couldn't see separate standing tombs like now you're seeing them. And there was actually a settlement of kings of Breda. Sort of like, that's why it's called Brunu Boy, means palace on River Boy. So interesting, eh? There we are. And then there's a lot of different monuments here. There's also henges here. I'm just trying to walk you around to show you one of the henges, which is here as well. And afterwards, you know, basically nobody knew anything about it. Oh no, the monks came from France, Cistercian monks, and they were granted this land. So they used to farm it all over, all this land, till 16th century, when Henry VIII actually, you know, dissolved all monasteries, and this land came to the crown, and later became a private land. Well, you see some of these passage tombs have also ditches, very much like in Stonehenge, smaller of course, this one. But still, and mind you that all these people who built it didn't have any metals. Everything been done by, you know, maybe the atlas and also some flint axes. Yeah, that's quite a big job, isn't it? And it's built layer by layer. As I said, it wasn't digged into hill. It was all built structure. Like really, like each one is like a building on its own. Yes, and only in 1939, and actually was bought by state, all this land. And they started proper excavation in 1962. As I said, it was all covered by earth over grass, so you couldn't see separate structures. And now you have these 20 passage tombs, just like this one, like mounds. So all was cleaned up, you know, supported, preserved, and scientists are working still. A lot to see. You can climb up this hill in this fantastic view, which I will do, but I can't carry on filming all this way. I just bring you here to show you this henge, because it's very much like near Stonehenge. We had also wooden henge, though during Labour government in 1960s, they changed the wooden to put some kind of concrete poles there, which ruined it completely. Here they put at least kind of fresh wooden poles. We don't know exactly what was going on here, but it's obviously used for some rituals. And as I said, it was burial place. People who were buried probably were some big importance. Maybe they were leaders, chieftains or druids, religious leaders. Of course, these people were pagans. We don't exactly know what they used it for. We also think that they knew a lot about the sky and astronomy, because, as I said, all alignments which they have here, even in the, for equinoxes, winter and spring and autumn, in Newgrange's winter solstice, it's amazing. And knowing that actually the Earth of our X of our Earth is actually moving, and this is more than 5,000 years old structures. How did they achieve that it's still going inside? Or this one, actually the stone still casts the shade into the chamber. It's absolutely stunning. It's quite hard to get here. I couldn't get any tours, so I had to buy a tour locally here and then make my way from Dublin on 2 buses. And I was lucky, because I just realized if I would be a few minutes late, I wouldn't get in here on time to get to this tour. So that was my luck. So you see this wooden henge, you can see it here. Yeah, very much like near Stonehenge. So the whole area is full of monuments. There is Hill of Tara, where used to be also a place of crown ancient kings. There's Hill of Slain, this monastery, remember of this monastery, the Cistercian monks and so on. You know, it's you have some special feeling here. There we are.